just know the Eastern Division is probably the toughest division in the TBL. It's not surprising because a lot of basketball players in the area in the East Coast, such as ourselves and here in Maryland. So that Eastern Conference coming out of Eastern Conference is going to be really going to be tough. So Reading, Pennsylvania, close by. So that's the very first game. So I think they were pretty good last year. I want to say that was their first year last year, or maybe second year. Uh, they're pretty solid. But Reading is probably one of the top teams, and I expect them to for them to do well. It's not going to be easy with our very first game. But the thing is, it's like their first game too. The Vipers are, as I've been told, their location is like really close to Frederick, so it's like not that far, like an hour or so. Yeah, I think this is their second year in the league. Again, you can't never take any kind of team lightly. Um, but they were decent last year, and I'm sure in the following year, because everybody's like going through the honeymoon stage, so they know what to expect and stuff now. The Vipers are pretty solid. They're going to be solid. Every team is going to give us their best, and it's a rivalry now. It's I guess it's not far. It's an hour away, so potentially, like regionally, they are rivals. They're going into their second year. Had a decent team. They're in the Midwest division, so we're playing out of our division. I was trying to look into the teams that we were playing and stuff like that. Most teams don't even have their websites up, so I was kind of I kept looking for on the east side. I kept looking for the grind, and I didn't see it. I thought they were in the Midwest, closer down towards the southern part of West Virginia. So they play like Kentucky, Owensboro, and some of those teams. I want to say I forgot who else. Kokomo, the Indiana teams and stuff like that. Lebanon, Medora. So it's in that kind of like in that area. The West Virginia is still like it's close, so it's still gonna be a grind for us, just like the team grind. But I just know they're in Connecticut, so I do believe they came from they relocated from. They were in the league, but they got relocated to Connecticut. I won't say they came from Central Florida or something like that. I don't know, not for sure. Connecticut is full of good basketball players when you think about the University of Connecticut, UConn. So I'm sure there's a wealth of talent there, but like I just said, the East Coast is full of players, and Connecticut is one of them. And I'm sure we'll get their best. I think like the thing that we have is experience, over most of these TBL teams. But I'm sure the talent is very good, and it's something that we can't take a day off against any of the teams, and especially Connecticut too. Connecticut is when you think about the history of UConn and University of Connecticut and how well their university and their college teams have done well. And then there's some other good teams, Division 2, Division 3 schools there have done well. There's some good players there. So I wouldn't be surprised, that they're really, really good, but of course, we're pretty good too. Everybody looks good on paper right now. So it just as far as I really think it comes down to experience, team chemistry, and what guys are doing, how they're playing. far as within as a team. Montreal, they're in Canada, they're in the BSL, the Super League. So they're like our sister league. So I've seen some of their players. They look pretty athletic. And then based off last year, they had some pretty good athletes, good shooters. They could really. They seemed like last year they really kind of pushed the ball, pushed the tempo. Of course, we're going to Montreal to play an exhibition game, and then we're playing them in the regular season at home, which is to our favor. But I feel like it'll be a good test to go to Montreal to play, just to kind of see what we got. Gives us a chance as a staff to like kind of look at lineups, look at to see who works well, plays well together. Maybe we could play them in different positions and stuff like that. So we get to see what works and what doesn't work, what works for us, the chemistry. We get to see, we got any time of good chemistry. And then when we play them, so we can make adjustments. So when we have them play the second time, for real, that we'll make those adjustments, and if we have to. The Albany Patroons. You just think about Albany Patroons. You just think about the Boston Celtics. They are the Boston Celtics of the TBL. They have a rich history of minor league basketball. They were in the CBA. Then they went to the TBL. So the CBA at the time was the G League to the NBA. A lot of the NBA players either were trying to make it to the NBA, and so they played in the CBA, or guys got, either trying to revive their career, or they got maybe hurt or something like that, and trying to get back, and they went back to the CBA. So the Albany Patroons were they have also you heard the Boston Gardens, so they have this equivalent. They have the Armory, so it's like the Boston Gardens. Everything, and the thing is too, they're green too, and they were always known for their play. They were known for some of the best coaches came out of there. The main one was Phil Jackson, who coached the Chicago Bulls, saw the championships in the LA Lakers, and coached Michael, Kobe, and Shaq, and all those guys. So he started with the Albany Patroons, and he won a championship with the Patroons. Also, they have at the Armory, their fans are just great. I have never. That's the one place I'm really looking forward to going there to play. In the years I've been in the league for 7 years, I've never got a chance to go. And then also, just to add a little flavor to Albany is even though they're the most historical franchise, they won in 2000, the TBL championship in 2019, I believe. So the team I was coaching in Kansas City, actually, we should have won in 2019. The way they got in, how they got in, that we didn't get to finish our season with the Kansas City Tornadoes. We had about the best team in the league at that year. I should have 2 championships. So we didn't get to play in the playoffs. So Albany took our place, filled in. They came in. They were the next team up, and they ended up winning the league. Ended up winning the TBL championship 2019. So that adds a little, I always tease their coach, Derek Roller, who's a good friend of mine. I always tease him they got won by default. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's like the Celtics, kind of like the Lakers back in the day. And people think very highly of the Patroons. Their fans. I'm hoping that our fans, it's like the Laker, the old old Lakers Celtics rivalry, and it kind of we kind of got that kind of type of environment. So it's going to be fun. The platoons they're going to be right in the thick of things, and it's probably hopefully if things work out, it'll come down to down to us too. All the Firebirds, they've been in existence for 6 years. I played them in Kansas City. They've been really solid. They've been ran by Coach Wade, and so they have a really solid foundation. Great people, great organization. They have been really consistent every single year, and they've had some good players. Uh, they run a good organization. Um, so going there and in North Carolina, so it's only 4 hours away. It's gonna be fun to to go down there and play in Raleigh. Of course, you think in North Carolina, you think of all like you think of Duke, which is our owner, alma mater. So you think of Duke, you think of North Carolina, all these good teams. So you got all these good players coming through there, back in old ACC country, and it's kind of like a rivalry too now because you think about the old Maryland team, the University of Maryland Purple team, and so now you get to go play some of some of the North Carolina teams in the TBL. So it kind of brings back some people would think back, the ACC rivalries and stuff and everything. It's Wake Forest, Carolina, Carolina State, Duke, all those. So the Raleigh team, possess a lot of some of those players, not from that day, but just from that area, and they have a pretty solid situation. And I'm sure this year they'll be pretty good too. Jamestown Jackals have been in the league for at least I want to say 5 years, about 5 years. They've been a solid organization. They got a good fan base. They've been pretty consistent every year in, year out. They're gonna come out very disciplined and they're gonna play tough. Don't know much about them. It's basically, I'm sure, I haven't heard anything. It's a new team. They will organize, put a team together that'll be very competitive. And, just like I said, like any of the new teams, they might be like new to this, but they can be, you can't look past none of these new teams just because they're new. And I mean, including us, we're new too, but, we got a lot of, vets and we got a lot of people who've been part of the league. But you don't want to look past them. I'm sure Rhode Island will be right into the mix of things. State, New Jersey, they I'm sure from a lot of the teams that maybe didn't come back, they're adding on probably to their team. So Tri-State is in that New York area, New Jersey area. They're gonna have some balls. So they're gonna come in ready to play. So I don't know a lot as far as their personnel and stuff and everything. I just base it off the region. So the New York, New Jersey area, Delaware area, they're gonna be tough. They're gonna have some good players, guys that are probably gonna be athletic, guys who run the floor, guys who just are hard nosed and just tough guys, and they have a thing with most of the East Coast teams, little chip on their shoulder, and they feel like, I'm just saying, like basketball is their thing, and there's no doubt that Tri-State will bring it to the table.